What's up, friends? Welcome back to Hobby Vomit. It is me, Matt, and I'm here for a pretty exciting video. So, I'm probably going to call this something along the lines of Mercy Tears of the Fallen giveaway, my TBR for August, and my July wrap up. So, I'm just going to kind of throw it all into one big video. You know, we've tried to do the weekly updates, have fallen off that. So we're going to try monthly updates. So that's what this is. I'm going to combine my TBR and what I read the last month. I'll do that for books. I will probably do another video for movies in the same format, what I watched, if there's anything I plan on watching in the next month. And yeah, I'll have two kind of wrap-ups, maybe one right towards the end of the month like today, and then one halfway through the month maybe or something like that. That way they're spread out a little bit. But yes, so let's just kick it off with the giveaway. Chance was kind enough to send Ian and I ARC copies of Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. And so, what we want to do here on the channel is anytime something is sent to us, we will then buy a copy of that and give it away. That way other people get to experience it as well. So we are giving away a copy of Mercy, Tears of the Fallen, the hardback. So this is actually my copy. What we're going to do is for the winner, just buy another one and have it sent to you from Chance. That way he can personalize it with a signature personalize it for you. So the only rules for this are US based, unfortunately, US based, just shipping. And then we're not going to do the thing where you have to comment, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. I'm sorry. I lied. You do have to comment just so I know who to add in, but you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to like, you don't do anything. The only thing I ask is that you go over to Chance's website, which is, I got pulled up here, chancedyllanauthor.com. I'll put it in the description, and sign up for his newsletter. He sends it out once a week. You can be updated. So sign up for that. You know, it's honor system. If you've signed up for it, then just comment done or whatever you want to comment. Doesn't matter what you comment. Just comment something and, saying that you have signed up for his website, his newsletter. That's the only thing we ask. We just want to support Chance, and, I think that's a good way to do it. You'll have news about, the second book, especially because if you're getting a copy of the first book, then you'll have some updates on the second book. And then if you don't win, you're still signed up, and you can keep an eye out for if he has any deals or just an update on Chance. So yes, again, if you want to enter for a copy of a hardback, it's going to be personalized to you and signed by Chance for Mercy Tears of the Fallen. You need to go sign up on chancedyllanauthor.com for his newsletter, honor system, and then just comment below, done. We'll leave it open for about a month or so, and then I'll just do a randomizer for the names. And unfortunately, I'm just going to have to say the announcement in another video, I guess, and hopefully you will see it and then win the book. So yes, that's the giveaway portion of the video. And now we're going to move into what did I read in July. So these are just the books I finished in July. So I closed the last page in July. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it because I tend to start a lot of different books, but it takes me longer to read them. And so, yeah, these are the books I finished in July. So, speaking of Mercy, I did a reread of this book just before the second book got sent to Ian and I. And so, yeah, I just was excited by the book. I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to just do a reread because it had been a while since I read the first one, and just to be caught up, know where I am, and just kind of go through and take notes and see if there's anything I didn't catch before. And honestly, it was a really great reread. I liked it just as much, if not more, on a reread. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to give, I guess I will give my star ratings. Still 4.5 for me out of 5 for Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. All right, next, we did The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. This was for our Hobby Vomit book club, but really just a couple friends and myself. We read this over the course of 2 months, just kind of taking it part by part. If you saw on the channel, we did a video discussion of part 1 and 2. We are planning on doing video discussion for part 3 and 4, and then a review. Just some of us haven't quite finished it yet, so we're kind of waiting on that. But this was an interesting book. I'm a huge Joe Abercrombie fan. He's probably one of my favorite authors. Bree and I have read the First Law trilogy and the 3 standalone books, and we're working our way through Sharp Ends, and now we have read The Devils as well. It's an interesting book. Let me get my rating out first. So I think I'm so torn between a 3.75 and a 4. I think I could be pushed to that 4 because it ends so strong. So this book, I think it has some pacing issues. A lot of people seem to DNF it around the exact same spot, and I get why that's the spot people DNF it at. It is, I also think that Joe Abercrombie isn't hiding anything from you. He tells you, page 1, you know exactly what you're getting with this book. So I am a little surprised that people DNF it for just being like a quest when really like that's what the whole book is telling you it's going to be from the beginning. But I also felt that in part 2, this book's broken into 4 parts. I think part 2 was the weakest. It starts really strong. Part 2 meanders quite a bit. I think Joe Abercrombie's strengths are still there. His character work is great. His dialogue is great. I didn't find the comedy too much. People talk about it like there's a joke every other sentence, and there's really not. I mean, it's like maybe once a page, but I would even argue not even that. So I didn't feel overwhelmed by the comedy, and that also could have been because I was listening via audiobook and reading at the same time. And comedy in books, I think, is just a weird thing. If you don't read it with a delivery, then I could see why a lot of jokes fall flat. But Stephen Pacey, he nails every joke, so the delivery is there. So a lot of the jokes landed for me. So I ended up really liking The Devils. I think part 1 was good. Part 2 fell off a little bit for me. Part 3 picked back up, and then part 4 just landed super strong. Really great ending. I think when I think about The Devils, like 10 years from now, I think The Devils is going to be considered like just as good as The First Law. I think it's just one of those things where it's the new thing. People are obviously going to be comparing it to The First Law. I get that. I think a lot of that's going to go away, especially as subsequent Devils books come out. But when I think about the characters in this book, like I will remember these characters 10 years from now. And like that's Joe Abercrombie's strength. I think that's what he was setting out to do. And I think he achieved that. So still a 3.7 out of 3.75, maybe a 4. I think maybe once I talk about it with some buddies and about how strong it ends, I think it could be a 4. I just maybe wish it was, I think you could cut out like 75, 100 pages of the book. But still, really enjoyed it. If this is Joe Abercrombie's worst, which I guess technically it is, then, there's nothing wrong with 3.75 being the worst book you've written. So, of the ones I've read at least. So that was The Devils. I also read The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan. So this is the second book in the Empire of the Wolf trilogy, and man, was this good. I gave this a 4.5. I really enjoyed the first book. It's like fantasy horror and fantasy lawyer. Very strange combinations that I didn't really know I needed until I read it. But I really liked book 1, and man, book 2 just zooms out and the scope broadens, and the character work gets better. The stakes are raised. The horror elements are heightened. And man, it just was cool. It was cool. It was creepy. It was tense. It's slow too, but in like a political thriller kind of way. And like that works for me. I think there's a lot of this small crew moving around town to interview people. But I was like here for that because I'm captured by the case, and so I was willing to go along with these characters. And you grow to like these characters. It is told from a first person past tense perspective, kind of, and it's not my favorite, I will say. I like it more than first person present tense, but I think Richard Swan handles it really well. It's told from her name is Helena. Told from Helena's point of view, and she's writing this as an older woman, and she'll butt in sometimes and even call herself out on her bullshit, and like I kind of like that. Like it's like, look, I know this was a stupid decision, but like I was young and I made a bad decision, and like people do that, and that's human, and like I get that, so it doesn't really bother me so much. I love the cover, by the way. It's just a super cool cover, and yeah, it was cult religion, but also medieval fantasy. I mean, you got like almost like murder mystery kind of in there, but also big battles, and it just was cool. And I cannot wait to read the third one. Richard Swan's 2 for 2 for me. I've heard mixed things on book 3, but I'm looking forward to trying it, and then Grave Empire after that. So that was Tyranny of Faith. Next, I don't have the single book. I just have the Bachman books by Stephen King. So I only read one of these. There's 3 books in here. So I read the Running Man by Stephen King, and I really liked The Running Man. I'm still waiting for the Stephen King where I finish and I'm like, that's a mid book. It hasn't happened yet. I think maybe I've been choosing and picking. I'll talk about another one later that might fit that bill, but I liked The Running Man, and it's just like dystopian madness. It was fun seeing Stephen King's like idea. It takes place in 2025, which is awesome. It was just kind of cool to see his vision way off on some parts and like spot on, like scarily spot on others. And it kind of, man, between this and The Long Walk, you can see how like Battle Royale and Squid Games and Hunger Games were all kind of, I mean, I don't want to say Stephen King did it first, but he kind of did. He did it first. He doesn't really get credit. And it's really interesting with the new movies. Both of these movies are coming out. The Long Walk, which I didn't finish this month, but talking about it now, I guess. It's in the Bachman books as well. So The Long Walk's coming out, which is about a bunch of boys that are walking for a grand prize. And, there can only be one winner. And there are rules that if you don't meet those rules, you punch your ticket. And then there's the Running Man, which is like a dystopian game show in which you are trying to survive for as long as you can while hunters hunt you. The longer you survive, the more money you make, which then goes to your family. And so very, televised game show, but with consequences. And yeah, I think when these movies come out, people are going to be like, oh, he just copied the Hunger Games, or he just copied Squid Games. And no. Stephen King did it first. So that's a Long Walk. It's not for everybody. It's super pulpy, and there are certainly some themes that are heavier. There's homophobia, there's racism. It's in there, but again, I think Stephen King handles it well, where it's not Stephen King saying he's like this, but humans are, and sometimes that's the scary part. So, not The Long Walk, The Running Man by Stephen King. Also, I'm just stoked about the movie. Edgar Wright, it seems like tonally it's very different. Oh my gosh. Also, can we talk about the ending? People want to say Stephen King can't write an ending. I mean, this is a great ending. I have not read a book, again, same. I'm at like 28 books now of Stephen King. I haven't read one with a bad ending yet. I've read ones with like fine endings. They're not bad, but they're fine. I wouldn't say they're his strong point. But this ending is awesome, like really great ending. And honestly, you can knock out in like a couple days. For me, it took me like a weekend. But it's very, very fast-paced, very fun. You don't love the main character, but you still kind of root for him mostly. But great book. Highly recommend it. Kind of a good place to start with Stephen King, maybe too, if you're okay with that pulpiness. But yeah, so that was the Running Man. Now I'm actually moving on to I do a book club with my family, and we rotate picks. This month it was Bree, my girlfriend's pick, and she picked The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. So we finished that up. We did our discussion, and it was good. I gave this a 4 out of 5. This is another book where, like, first chapter, you know exactly what you're getting for the rest of the book. It's very wholesome. Makes you kind of look in the mirror a little bit. I would say, as for myself, I never really felt as challenged as a reader. I think because a lot of my ideals like line up with what this book is trying to teach you. So I never really felt challenged in that way. But I think he handles it really well. The characters were very memorable. It's about like this caseworker going to oversee an orphanage of magical children. So there's like a wyvern and a troll or a gnome and a sprite, and all the kids have very, very unique personalities, and it's very cute and wholesome. And yeah, Bree kind of said it basically feels like it could be a Pixar movie, and I totally agree. Maybe a little longer than I would have liked. About 400 pages. I could see it being tightened up a little bit, and yeah, but it was good. I had a good time reading it. I would read more T.J. Klune. I'm not like jumping at it, but I we had a good time. So that's House of the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. All right, so those are all the books that I finished, and so now I'm going to talk about what books I started / then lead into what books I will be reading in August, or at least starting in August. Some of these I won't finish in August because, like I said, I sometimes I'll start a book and it will take me over a month just because I start a bunch of books, and I'm reading some chonkers this month. So, all right, the first one I actually don't have, so I'm just holding it up. I started and did not finish Full Throttle by Joe Hill. This is a collection of short stories. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, so there are 2 stories in there that he co-wrote with Stephen King. So I have 2 stories left. I've read about 8, I think, and damn, they're good. They are very good. Dare I say, I mean, this is the first collection of short stories I've read by Joe Hill, but dare I say, better at short fiction than his dad? Maybe. He just might be. Like, they've all been hits. I think there was one I thought was like, it was fine, but like if that's the lowest quality one, I still enjoyed reading it. So I got 2 more. We'll see how the last 2 land. One of the last 2 is written with his dad, which I loved the first one. Some people don't seem to love the first. It's the first book in the or the first story in the book, called just, I think it's just called Throttle, or I don't know. I think it might just be called Throttle, but I liked it. I thought they worked really well together. I'd be curious to see what the process is like. Did one just have ideas the other actually wrote, or did they take turns writing, or did one write one perspective and one write another? I'd just be really interested to see that, but I thought they worked really well together. It was very seamless, and they kind of already write similarly, so it was super easy to read. So enjoying that. That's kind of like my bedtime read when I'm in bed with my Kindle, and I just need to work on falling asleep. I'll pull that out, read 20 or so pages, and then put it down. So it takes me a little bit. I've been working on that for a while, since kind of the beginning of July, but I will finish that in August with there only being two short stories left. I think they're longer short stories, but I'll finish that. Speaking of the King, I am reading Insomnia, which if you've heard of this book, you'll probably see everybody thinks they're clever because they say, oh, you know what the cure for insomnia is? Insomnia. And I get it. It's slow. It is slow. And there are certainly times I found myself reading that I'm like, ooh, I got to wipe away the tired tears. And so I get it, but man, I'm liking it. I've only finished part 1, and it's a chonker. And so it's just, so far a lot of setup and character work, but that's my favorite parts of Stephen King. And if it's meandering, it is meandering for sure here and there, but like I love Stephen King's meandering. But I've heard parts 2 and 3 are where it gets slower. And I'm sitting there thinking like, all right, I'm a third of the way through the book, and that was supposed to be like the good part. So we'll see how the rest goes. This is kind of just when I've got time, I'll read a little bit here and there. But I would like to finish by the end of the month. My brother is a huge Stephen King fan. He kind of did a lot of reading of Stephen King when we were younger, and now I've kind of taken on the role of the reader because he's so busy with work. And he did not like this book. And so I was like, I gotta know why. And it seems like every time I see people talking about it, it is very polarizing. Love it. It's either your favorite Stephen King book, or like your top 5 favorite King books, or it's bottom 5. So I'm just mostly curious. But so far, it's leaning towards like, I could see this being like a very solid 3.5 stars. If it starts going downhill, then we'll see. But yeah, that's Insomnia by Stephen King. We picked a new family book club book. My uncle this time got to choose. Well, so I guess I don't really need to say how we do it. We do like a voting thing. Everyone brings forward a book, then we vote. So this month, the book that was voted on was Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. I'm super stoked if you can see, Bree and I are about 10 pages away from being done. So we just blasted through this. I hadn't read this since college, and I went through like a small Kurt Vonnegut phase, probably because it was like cool. But like I feel like now that I've read it again, I don't know. He just has the most digestible prose, and it's just entertaining. It's funny. I just think he's a I don't know. There's something really special about Kurt Vonnegut's writing. So I think I would like to get back into Vonnegut here, especially as like a palate cleanser for fantasy. It's short, like I said, just the most super digestible prose, really interesting. At least for this, this has to do with like I don't like war and time travel and aliens, and it's just like I mean all that happens. It's just very very interesting. I think I lost my computer for a second, so ooh. But yeah, we're about to finish that up, and then we have a very short story as well. We're gonna do. I don't remember the name of the short story, so I'm not gonna list it here. But so we'll be finishing that up tonight, I think. And yeah, so I'm excited for that. And then I'm starting 3 more books. That's all I'm giving myself for now. We'll see. I'm definitely a mood reader, and at night I like to sample my books, I call it, in which I just walk down my bookshelf and I pick one out and I'll read the prologue, and I'll be like, wow, that sounds cool, and I'll put it back. Now I'll pick another one, read the prologue. But that tends to that's what I think it's going to be. But in reality, it's me, and I pick up a book and I go, let me read the prologue, and I read the prologue, and I'm like, I'm going to read this book. So I make it to one book, and I start the book. So I'm going to really try not to do that because I'm going to have to focus on these books. You're going to see they are freaking chonkers. So the first book I'm starting, I'm doing this as a part of the Book Street Boys read-along or book of the month, and that is Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. Freaking chonker. Don't know anything about this. I don't know anything. I mean, obviously there's a cool-looking dragon on the front. So, I've not really read much, if any, dragon fantasy other than Rage of Dragons, I think. So I'm pretty excited, and there's some in Gardens of the Moon. But, yeah, I'm excited to read it. I don't know what kind of I don't even know if it is dragon fantasy. I mean, it's called Dragon Mage, so I'm assuming it is dragon fantasy, maybe Dragon Rider. I don't know. But I've heard nothing but good things. People who have read it on the Discord just talk highly of it, so I'm excited to try that myself. And yeah, I gotta start that soon because it's a big boy. Then I am doing a buddy read with my brother's girlfriend. Finally getting to The Will of the Many. I cannot wait any longer. This was presented as a possible book club book, but I think my mom might struggle a little bit with. She's not a big fantasy fan, and I think this might just be a tougher first fantasy. So I know Kirsty, my brother's girlfriend, wanted to read it. I'm like itching to read it because everybody is talking about it, and I know book 2 is about to come out. So I caved. We're doing a buddy read. So Will of the Many, also not a small book, and then the biggest book of them all. If you've seen on our channel, Ian and I are doing a huge Malazan read-along as new series to both of us. We just finished up Deadhouse Gates. Absolutely loved it. And you can't see this is the Broken Binding edition, but I've got like this little, I don't know, little hardcover sock on it. But this is Memories of Ice. So we are starting Memories of Ice, which is just a cool 1,200 pages. So this one we will not be finishing in August just because he's got a newborn. We take it slow. Each Malazan book is broken into 4 parts. And so we read a part, then we do a discussion. And so it probably is going to take us about 3 weeks per part with a book this big. So it's going to take us about 3 months to finish it, I'm thinking. So we'll see. We might catch fire and just burn through it. So we will just have to see. But I am stoked. Since I closed Deadhouse Gates, I was like, ooh, Memories of Ice. And, I know it's supposed to be some people's favorites. So I'm stoked for that. So that's it. Those are so I'm hopefully finish Insomnia, finish Full Throttle, finish Slaughterhouse 5. I don't know. I probably won't finish Memories of Ice. I might finish Will of the Many. And I got to finish Dragon Mage for the read-along. Oh, and I'm reading... I'm alpha reading the second Mercy the second Mercy book called Ill is the Fate. So I'm about halfway through that, which it's pretty good, guys. It's good. So I'm stoked to finish that up and give Chance my notes. But yeah, speaking of, I'm not going to hold it up again because it's at the bottom of this giant stack, but I can hold up the arc. Mercy Tears of the Fallen. I mean, it's just been fun. You've seen us talk with Chance twice. There's a spoiler chat and a non-spoiler chat. And this is just the reminder that we are giving away a signed, personalized copy to someone in the U.S. If you somehow missed the beginning of the video, I'm just going to say it again. If you heard me the first time, feel free to dip out. But yes, if you'd like to win a hardcover copy of Mercy Tears of the Fallen, personalized to you and signed by Chance himself in the U.S. and you live in the U.S., the way that you can sign up or enter is just go to chancedyllanauthor.com, which the link will be in the description, and sign up for his newsletter. Okay? Which gets you a free short story, by the way. Sign up for his newsletter, and then come back here and just say done or anything. You can literally say anything in the comments. Just let me know that you signed up for his newsletter. It is honor system, so please do it if you are interested in winning. You know, I support an indie author. It's his debut. We want to celebrate it and yeah, get the ball rolling for him. So please sign up. Let me know. And about a month from now, I will randomize all the people that let me know that they entered. And then we'll pick a winner. And I'll have to make a video announcing it, and then we'll get that book sent over to you. So yes, that is it. That was the giveaway. That was what I read last month in July 2025 and what I am reading in August 2025. If you made it this far, thank you so much. We appreciate it here on Hobby Vomit, and we will catch you for the next video. Goodbye.